Hey everyone, welcome back to another Real Talk. It's been a very long time since I've done one of these. This one is not really that depressing, more the fact that it's something that is very close to me and I want to say. Now, this all started when someone called me the pub heavy main, and I laugh at this because, yes, I greatly appreciate that. I play pubs, I'm not a very competitive guy, and I very much enjoy the very lighthearted side of the game that you don't really need to think about, you can just kind of play, you know? Today we're going to be talking about the three factions of TF2, casual, competitive, and trading. Now, we're not going to be talking about trading as much, mainly due to the fact that I'm not an expert at it anymore, and it's something that isn't too interesting for me, and I don't really think it really affects the whole casual and competitive side of this. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So, first off, let's talk about casual. Now, when we talk about casual, we're not talking about like the official casual, like we're talking like pubs, community servers, and like the casual side of the game, maybe even MVM to some degree. Casual is what I think TF2 was built upon. TF2 was built upon the roots of a nice, laid-back, fun game. To me, it never seemed like it was trying to be very ultra serious. That's why it had this cartoony tone to it. It was just trying to be a nice, fun game. And it seems like people like that, because majority of the TF2 players are for casual. That's why most of my videos, I do talk about the competitive things, but most of my videos are about the casual side of it. Like, I talk about a weapon in its most common situation, which would be a pub. And personally, I don't think we should be balancing weapons for the competitive side. I think we should be balancing for the casual side. Because sure, the competitive, they need these weapon balances, but it's just such a small portion when compared to the casual amount of players. When the people that just hop on to play the game for what it is. Not the people that like have leagues and teams. Like I was even a part of one. Don't get me wrong, it's fun. But for a majority of the players, they play pubs. They don't play this whole casual matchmaking thing. They just want to enjoy the game. So by balancing all these weapons to be ultra serious and gritty, you're essentially being the opposite of what TF2 were meant to be. And I believe that's due to the fact that Valve is run by a bunch of different people. So if they want to, they can work on TF2. They can just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to work on Counter-Strike Go for like 10 years now. I'm going to go work on TF2. And then they can go change the original intention of TF2. That's the nature of Valve. Which personally I don't agree with that, but that's probably a whole nother video. And I probably don't even need to talk about that. I'm sure someone else way popular has already talked about that. But let's keep on track here. Casual has been something that TF2 has seemed to be known for. It's something that has grew. And all of a sudden TF2 is like, hey, let's be competitive. And I understand they're trying to stay with the times, but by doing this, they've actually gotten rid of casual. They actually took out pubs. They put in this fake casual mode that gives you ranks and awards for killing. Like, they're treating that like a discount matchmaking system. They got rid of the casual side of TF2 and put in competitive. Why would they do this? I don't know. I'm greatly upset about it, but I like to be naive and believe that Valve has some sort of reason, when in fact, I don't think they do. I think they were just trying to be competitive, and they essentially kicked everyone that didn't like competitive out, which, as mentioned earlier, I feel like a lot of people preferred the casual side of things. Thus the reason TF2 is very tense right now. It seems like people want this casual thing that's gone. Video games are just supposed to be fun, in my opinion. Not every video game needs to be super gritty and realistic. Like, real life's already bad enough and competitive. Why can't you just have a simple, fun video game every now and again? And I don't know, casual just has been such a prominent staple in the TF2 series, or TF2 I guess, that it's kind of a shame to see it really go. And I was trying to hold off on making this video. You have no idea how long I've held off. Like, I wanted to make this video like the first week that Meet Your Match came out, but I decided to keep my mouth shut because I figured, hey, everyone's going to talk about it, they said they're going to resolve some of these bugs, could be good. Here we are like 7 months later. It's not great. But on the flip side of that, let's talk about competitive, because that's like the future of TF2, right? Everyone's pumped about competitive? Well, from my opinion, it's a little high-strung for my liking, however, it is rewarding. Competitive is something that people take very seriously, thus the nature of competitive. And it's cool and interesting, but I don't think you can really brag about that all that much in real life. I mean, maybe it's just my understanding, but if you go to pick up a chick, and you're like, hey, I'm in Platinum in TF2, they're gonna look at you and walk away. But hey, maybe that's just me. I could be horribly mistaken for all you Platinum TF2 players. But competitive, it's not something really to brag about, but yet people take it so seriously. And again, it's the nature of competitive, I know. And TF2 is trying to taper to these people, because they've frankly been ignored by the TF2 team, which is fine and dandy. But how come they had to get rid of all the other features just to make it so they balance every single new weapon, they balance all the old weapons, they change so much stuff solely so these competitive people will stop crying about things. They're like, the buffalo steak is OP, I want it nerfed. And they're like, alright, we'll nerf it. And it's like, but in pubs the buffalo steak sucks. So why? So now you're just making a bad weapon even worse. I don't know why they would do that. But again, it's for competitive. Everything's balanced for competitive. Everyone's taking it super seriously. Like, how can you just enjoy the video game for what it was or is? I don't know. I mean, I'll give the competitive people what it is. It is fun at times, and you gotta be dedicated. But from my personal opinion as Rydercycle, I can't play competitive every day. I don't think competitive can be good every single waking moment. Whereas a casual game, sure, might get a little boring, but for the most part, you can just hop on, close your eyes, and have a nice relaxing game of TF2. Unlike competitive, where you need to sit down, you need to say, alright, Bravo team, go left, flank right, I'm gonna go through the mid. It's like, come, just enjoy the game, right? Maybe that's just me. Who knows? Finally, let's wrap it up with trading. And trading is something that I used to do a whole lot, and I just know SteamGuard has not been great to it, with the whole mobile authenticator. Again, I have no room to talk on this. If you want to go see a trading channel, you can find people like Pyro Joe or others, and they'll happily talk all day about trading with you. But for me, I traded up, got my usual, and got out. So I don't have any room to speak. But from my understanding, they're not too happy with Valve and Steam currently. So it seems like the only real faction of TF2 that's sort of happy is competitive. But even then, they don't enjoy the matchmaking. They enjoy actual competitive like UGC. But they've always enjoyed that. So what's different there? All Valve has really done with the Meet Your Match update has made it more so casual players are slightly upset. Competitive players are pretty much the same, if not more upset. And trading, I mean, I imagine they're upset. Again, I don't have any room to speak for them at any part. It's been so long since they've even traded, so I have no room to speak there. But it just seems like Valve has just been kind of getting on everyone's nerves. You know when you, like, tell a kid to stop doing something so he, like, starts doing it harder? It seems like Valve's doing that. And again, I don't mean to call Valve out. I know programming's a hard job. It's a whole lot of effort, and I appreciate them for working on it. But from my personal opinion, I don't think they should keep going competitively. I mean, I'm totally fine if they do it, but I just don't want them to get rid of casual and forget about it. But it just seems like Valve just kind of got rid of the casual side. Like, that must have taken effort to get rid of that. Like, how come you couldn't just leave it in? Moral of the story is, TF2 right now is divided into 3 major categories, and it's not good for anyone. Valve's probably not too great being like, who do we help out here? We got one side, another side, oh man, there's a third side, who do we help, who do we help? So, it just seems like TF2's not in a great way. But again, fingers crossed that this Pyro update will fix some of these issues. I have high doubts it will, though. But, you know, it's just nice to have hope. It's really nice. I mean, it's naive and it's foolish, but I don't care. I just kind of hope, I really hope that Valve will bring back casual. And I'm not talking like ranks and medals or time limits and map limits. I'm talking pubs where you just sit down, you play the game, and you have a good time. But that's all I'm going to talk about for this video. And again, I want to thank you guys for listening to me. And I hope you all have a swell day, and peace out.